Hello friends, I am Dr. Madhukar Jadhav. In previous lecture, we have studied regarding introductory part of phytoremediation. In this, we have seen what is mean by phytoremediation, and also we have seen regarding various plants which are useful in phytoremediation. In this lecture, we are going to study the mechanisms of phytoremediation, or we can say techniques by which the treatment of soil or sediments or wastewater takes place by phytoremediation. So the different mechanisms are phytoextraction, phytostabilization, phytotransformation, phytostimulation and rhizofiltration. So by these 6 mechanisms, the treatment of wastewater or soil or sediment takes place. So each of these we are going to study in detail in this lecture. So first of all, phytoextraction. The uptake of contaminants by plant root and movement of these contaminants from root to the above part of plants takes place by absorbing, concentrating and precipitating. The contaminant is called as phytoextraction. Once again, the uptake of contaminants by plant root and the movement of these contaminants from root to the above part of plant by absorbing, concentrating and precipitating the contaminants is called as phytoextraction. So by these 3 techniques, the phytoextraction is taking place. Now there are 2 ways by which phytoextraction is taking place. One is by natural way and second one is by assisted, means we have to force. So first one, natural phytoextraction. In natural phytoextraction, the plants naturally take up the contaminants from the soil and it is not depend, it independently takes by the plant itself. While in case of assisted processes, use of chelating agents or some material we have to use, maybe say microbes or plant hormones we have to use to accelerate the rate of, we can say, phytoextraction. So these are the 2 techniques by which the extraction of pollutants takes place. Uptake of contaminants also accelerated by use of hyperaccumulators. So by adding hyperaccumulators, we can increase the rate of phytoextraction. Next slide. Phytostabilization. Phytostabilization refers to the immobilization of contaminants in the soil through absorption and accumulation by the roots, and second, precipitation within the roots. Immobilization means process of holding. So whatever the contaminants are there, they are held in the roots. This process reduces the mobility of the contaminants and prevents migration to the ground, or we can say to the air, and also reduces the bioviability for entry into the food chain. Means in this, whatever the pollutants are there, they are kept in the roots only. They are not going to the fruits, or we can say leaves of the plants. And generally this technique is used for the treatment of say lead, arsenic, cadmium, chromium, copper and the zinc. Next slide. Phytostabilization. So advantages of phytostabilization includes disposal of hazardous material, biomass is not required. Very effective when rapid immobilization is needed to preserve the ground and the surface waters. The presence of plants also reduces soil erosion. So these are the 3 advantages of phytostabilization. Then disadvantages: applications of extensive fertilizer is required. contaminant remaining in the soil, and last one, monitoring is mandatory in case of phytostabilization. Next one, phytotransformation. This is also known as phytodegradation. It is the breakdown of contaminants taken up by plant through metabolic processes within the plant. Metabolic, in the other words, we can say the digestion processes. So by metabolic processes within the plant, the whatever the contaminants taken up, they are breakdown. Next one, remediate some organic contaminants such as chlorinated solvents, herbicides and mutations. It can address contaminant in soil, sediment or groundwater. Next one, phytostimulation. Phytostimulation refers to breakdown of contaminants within the plant root zone or rhizosphere of the plant. This is carried out by bacteria or other microorganisms flourishing in the rhizosphere. Microbes in rhizosphere transform contaminants to non-toxic products, and this system works well in the removal of petroleum hydrocarbons. Generally, whatever the rhizosphere near to that plant root in which the bacterial population is present, in this the treatment of the we can say pollutants like petroleum hydrocarbons, the treatment of such contaminants takes place in this rhizosphere by the bacterial population. Next one, phytovolatilization. In this process, plants taking up contaminants from soil, transforming them into volatile forms and transferring them into atmosphere. Just like hydrocarbons are emitted by the plants, in the same way, whatever the different contaminants which are taken by the plants through root, they comes to the leaves, and then through the leaves that contaminants are released into the atmosphere by transpiration process. This process works on organic compounds and heavy metals contaminants, mainly TCE, that is trichloroethylene. Mercury is the primary metal contaminant that has processed by this particular phytovolatilization. Next slide. Rhizofiltration. Rhizofiltration, rhizo means root. So roots are taking parts in the filtration of contaminants. Rhizofiltration is the adsorption or precipitation onto plant root or absorption into the roots of different contaminants that are in the solution surrounding the roots of the plants. This technique is used to remediate extracted groundwater, surface water and wastewater with a low contaminants. Compared to phyto extraction, in this process the plant used are addressed to the groundwater rather than the soil. So here the filtration means roots are taking part in the filtration, and in this process the adsorption of contaminants on the root parts takes place, or sometimes precipitation of different pollutants on the plant root takes place. So these are the different mechanisms by which the treatment of contaminants takes place by the technique called as phytoremediation technique. So this is all about regarding mechanisms in phytoremediation. Thank you.